Hi, I'm Terri Mead and welcome to my brand new YouTube channel. Happy New Year's and hello 2020 and cheers! I've spent the last month avoiding recording this video. I've been procrasti-cooking, procrasti-cleaning, and procrasti-puzzling with my second child, Ray, who you'll learn a little bit more about later. I've read articles and blogs and watched YouTube channels. I've taken notes. I've read about the top 10 things you're supposed to do when you launch a channel and the top 10 things to avoid blowing up your channel in a bad way. I've I've started to redecorate my office. It's still a work in process, and I've avoided finishing it, probably to avoid recording this episode. I've created a project plan with all the tasks and details, and I've even created a focus group to learn about what my target market is looking for. And you know what I realized? I've been afraid. I've been afraid of looking bad, I've been afraid of sounding bad, and I've been afraid that I won't have anything to say, which will surprise a lot of people who know me. But I've also been afraid of setting my 2020 goals. I'm one of those people who thinks that if I write it down, I have to get it done. It makes me an amazing project manager, but a really terrible dreamer. I invested in a company called SilknSaunder. Well, actually, I invested in this amazing woman, Meha Agrawal, who is the founder of that company. I got my January SilknSaunder planner and read Meha's monthly welcome letter. And as I read it, I realized it was exactly what I needed. It was as if she read my mind, or maybe she was reading my weekly in-flight newsletter and saw the struggles that I was having in creating my 2020 goals. Or maybe what I struggle with just isn't really all that unique. As she so eloquently stated, we tend to put a lot of pressure on ourselves around the end of the year in creating New Year's resolutions and plans. And since we're starting not just a new year, but a new decade, it feels like it's 10 times worse. There's added self-inflicted pressure, as she talks about, which isn't helped by all the social media headlines for us women in being better or being our best selves or improving this or improving that. What she encourages us to do instead during the month of January is to just dream. I'm still chewing on this one because, as I said earlier, dreaming is not my thing. Executing, you bet. But to dream and to put it down on paper, it's just plain scary. What if I don't succeed? What if I don't accomplish what I set out to do? What if I fail? And since I'm turning 50 this next April, it feels like there's even more pressure on getting it just right. This brings me back to the Procrasti-activities. Gotta love this word. Sometimes we just need to start. We can't wait for everything to be perfect. There's never gonna be the perfect time, the perfect amount of money. I'm never gonna be at the perfect weight or have the perfect haircut. There's just never gonna be the right time. A friend of mine, Linda Moore, many years ago before we decided to have kids, when I was talking it over with her, said, there's never the perfect time and sometimes you just have to go for it. And she was right. And this applies to so much more than just having kids. Some of the best things in my life have happened when I've just gone for it, when I haven't overthought it or overplanned it and I've been scared and I've gone for it anyway. One of them was when I was 38, decided to become a helicopter pilot. Well, 10 years later, I'm commercially rated. And I still fly. Not as much as I want to, but I still fly. Or when I decided to launch my podcast in 2017. I hired my bestie, Jacqueline, to produce the podcast. We had no idea what we were doing. Neither of us had ever done it before. But we decided that the only way to figure it out and to learn how to do it was to actually do it. And I'm proud to say that episode 116 was released in the middle of December. We're on hiatus right now because I'm doing this. Another time when I just jumped into it without having it figured out was when I decided to write my book, Piloting Your Life, which came out on September 1st. I hired my writing coach, book producer, and editor to help me out, but I had no idea what I was walking into. And I probably wouldn't have done it if I'd known what it was going to take. As I said, the ebook, the paperback, and the audiobook were all released on September 1st, and it's selling. People are buying it, and people are asking me to come and speak about it. Super, super fun. The list goes on and on in my life around decisions that I've made to go for it despite being scared and despite not having it all figured out. What I decided along the way is that, you know what, worst case scenario is that it'll be a great learning experience. And that's what I'm hoping from this experience too. For me, 2020 is going to be all about taking risks or taking more risks. I don't consider myself a big risk taker, which makes a lot of people laugh, but I'm really more of a calculated risk taker. And this year, I'm going to be scared. I'm going to go for it anyway. I'm going to try all sorts of new things, and I'm not going to let that fear hold me back. In fact, every day in the month of January, I have it in my planner to do something that requires courage or bravery, just to do something that I'm afraid of. Every single day in the month of January. I'm also going to not have to have it all figured out before I give something a try. I'm going to treat it like how I do puzzles, is you kind of turn over all the pieces as you find all the edge pieces, or this is at least how we do it. You put the frame in place and then you start filling in the pieces, and the picture starts to show itself as you go along. As my executive coach Bev says, that it's important to stay in the process and do the hard work, and that's what I plan to do in 2020. And yes, there will be more Bevisms as we go along. But getting back to this channel, why have I been stuck? Well, because I wanted this channel to be perfect, and I've let my desire for perfection get in the way of progress. And as we all know, perfection is a myth. My goal is going to be to strive for greatness and not perfection. And even that's a tall order, but I can't get there if I don't start. So the sound and the lighting, my makeup, my hair may not be perfect, but these will all get better over time as we learn. I like changing things up, and we can test things and we can evolve as the channel progresses. Who's we, you might be asking? Well, my second child, Ray, who is 15 and totally Gen Z, will be producing this channel, including doing the editing. Thank goodness. I couldn't have done my podcast without Jacqueline to produce and edit it, and I certainly could not be doing this without my best second child.
I always knew I was your second favorite.
You are, because you're my best second child because you were born second. Anyway, I only have 2 kids. What can you expect moving forward? Well, we plan on releasing one 8 to 12 minute episode a week, and I plan to share what is relevant, exciting, exhilarating, and unusual about my life and adventures as a cisgender woman, an IT consultant, expert witness, startup advisor, angel investor, helicopter pilot, tennis player, Francophile. Ooh, I love all things French. Avid reader, champagne drinker, well, cocktail drinker, yeah. Womanist, wife, and mom in no particular order. I lead a busy life, but I'll be bringing you along as I jump into things despite being scared, and I learn and grow from the experiences. And I hope to have a lot of fun and adventure along the way. Thank you for watching, thank you for subscribing, and thank you for your comments. We'd love to hear what your plans are for 2020 and what you're getting rid of in 2019. Until next week, let go of perfection, take some risks, and above all else, have some fun. And Happy New Year.